Okay, let's see how this will work out. So, what I'm basically doing is I will be installing Lubuntu, which is I'm kind of shifting back into computers with this video. I'm trying to get out of making computer-related videos because this entire channel is not 100% dependent on computer-related videos. You can kind of tell I've done some non-computer related videos, but a majority of my channel is computer related, and I've been trying to get out of that. But I'm going back to computer videos just for this one. I'm going to be, if you guys remember this old Acer laptop, I'm basically going to, I decided not to get rid of it because there was no way to, there was no one to give this to, and I could have just simply wipe the hard drive, install Windows 10, and given it to someone else like that, but I decided against that because who would I give this to? This machine is too old for me to do that. Then I decided, you know what if I use it as like a remote into my other machines kind of thing, where it's basically one that I'll bring around and then I'll hook up like to the internet to like remote into my other computers, kind of like a thin client. If you're familiar with IT, you'll know what a thin client is. Anyway, so I decided, why don't I try installing Lubuntu, which, if you're familiar with Linux, is a fork of Ubuntu, or Ubuntu, so maybe Lubuntu. I don't really know how to pronounce it. There's multiple ways to pronounce it, so I'm trying to figure out how to actually properly pronounce it, but it's Ubuntu would be forked into Lubuntu. Again, don't really know what the correct pronunciation is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to install it from this USB drive onto here. Now, I was going to initially do this with a faster USB drive, but this is only USB 2.0 speed, so I decided I'd use one of my spare USB 2.0 drives. It's only going to be for this video. Anyways, so the way you want to do is you want to prep a USB drive. I use this tool called Rufus. Download link is in the description. And then I use the Lubuntu installer. I use the latest version of the installer, which at the time of me recording this is 22.04. I used that. Now, once you make the USB drive, you will want to plug it into the computer you want to install it on, then you want to boot off of it. To do so, you'll usually have to press a key on startup. It will say, like, in my case, it says press F12 to change boot device, so I'm going to press F12. You'll get to this little boot menu. So you see there's that SanDisk. That's the USB drive I want to boot off of. You should see this. You'll want to hit try or install Lubuntu. And the moment, I don't know why I'm recording this so late. Literally, I'm recording this like very late at night. But I'm doing it just for the point of, because I'm gonna be like doing more on this thing, like, and I figure I'll at least go through the installation part. So you should see this. This is the boot screen, at least in some of these versions, like at the time of me recording. They may have changed it in later versions, but at the time of me recording, this is what it should look like on the latest version. I'm just gonna... Now, of course, because this thing is very slow, obviously Lubuntu's gonna be pretty slow as well, but it's not gonna be as slow as, like, Windows 10 is on this thing. Figure I'll at least mention that. So I skipped ahead a little bit. It says finished terminate Plymouth boot screen. That will come up right after that little graphical. Okay, we got a mouse cursor now. I have no clue how well this is gonna go. And what I would do is, if you have a working battery, I would say plug the computer in. Like, if you're on battery, plug it in. This installer can take a while. Oh, and I'm not even going through the full install process here. I'm just doing like a portion of it, like the part like pre-reboot before the thing does its reboot. So we should be seeing an install Lubuntu, however you're supposed to pronounce it. You may get a few things like you're running LXQT power management for the first time. You may get that. That is fine. We will install Lubuntu. Okay, so I decided to try to connect to the internet before I start the installer. Not really a necessity, but it's probably worth it because of updates that may have come out. So, jeez, the time. Literally, it thinks it's almost 5 o'clock. That is not even correct. Like, that time down there is not even correct. Anyway, I'm just saying things out loud. I'm just thinking out loud. Let's just wait for... I'm just gonna wait for this to start to load, and then I'll come right back. Okay, so a couple things that happened. First of all, I waited for the installer to load, and while I was waiting, the battery on my phone died. So, I've got this other cord here, which is why it's like right on my keyboard. So, I'm just gonna have to deal with that for the video, and... Okay, we got... Yes, that's what I want. That is, in fact, my time zone, if you are wondering. I am in the Valley of Phoenix. Not gonna say where in the Valley of Phoenix. I'm just gonna say that is where I am. Oh, that is interesting. 4 partitions. I thought I only had 3, just the bootloader and then Windows itself, and as well as the recovery environment, but apparently there's a 4th partition on there? Interesting. I'm just gonna erase the whole thing. I would recommend if you erase the whole thing. I do not recommend dual booting, especially if you're on an MBR drive like I am and have 4 partitions. I would not recommend dual booting. I'm not gonna encrypt the system. That is possible to do, but I'm not gonna. And make sure to make note of where the bootloader is going. In my case, I'm going to put it on the master boot record. And make sure you pay attention to what drive is being replaced. In my case, it is the WDC. This Cruiser Glide is actually the USB drive that I'm using. So I'd say pay attention. It should be dev/SDA. Unless it's something else. I should have tilted the camera upwards when they're getting... Anyway, I'm just gonna erase it. It may say Ubuntu here. Don't worry, it's gonna install Lubuntu. I'm just gonna type my full name, and then this is your login here, and then the name of the computer. I'm just gonna leave this as is. And then the password, I would not recommend leaving this blank. I'm actually going to put down something. I'm just going to put down this simple 8-digit code that I normally use. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend just simply an 8-digit code. I recommend like an actual password, but for purpose of this video, I'm just doing an 8-digit code. And you can log in automatically without asking for the password. I'm actually not gonna do that for this. And I'm gonna hit next. Next. Alright. 105 key. This is missing a number pad, if you were wondering. And yeah, this is what we want. So install. Is about to make changes to your disk in order to install it. You will not be able to undo. I'm fine with that. Install now. Alright, and just wait. I'm gonna come back when it's done installing. By the way, on the topic of cameras, I'm actually going to be swapping over to using this Motorola Droid Turbo. Yes, I happen to have one. I'm going to be swapping over to using this to record videos from. This is a Verizon model, for those wondering. This is not activated right now. I don't actually have an active data plan, but I will be using the camera on it in later videos. So, just to let everyone know in advance, it's just camera related. Not going to change any of the videos. It may affect the quality, and that's fine by me. I don't really care about how my videos turn out in the end. But just to let everyone know, that's what I'm going to be doing. Well, that was a really long process. So Lubuntu is now installed. We can check off this to restart now, or we can uncheck it to continue. It's basically saying when it's checked it will restart. I'm gonna actually do that. And I thought I told it to restart. Well, why is it not? Oh, it is restarting. Okay, what do we got now? I'm gonna pause here and wait for it to reboot. Please remove the installation medium, then press enter. Okay. I presume that means the USB drive. Okay. And press enter. The squash errors I'm not concerned about. Let me put this down so I can wait for it to reboot. And I'm actually going to put this USB drive away since I don't need it anymore. I'm just doing some cleanup in the background, if you're wondering. Nice! We got the screen back. Now, for those wondering why the video is going this long, it's because the setup actually has not yet finished. We actually have to wait for some other stuff. As you may get this that is actually a reference to networking that is totally unrelated to the operating system itself. I mean, you're still going to be able to use it. Like, see, the mouse cursor's gone up. So if you get this, that's fine. It's just a networking thing. Though you might want to consider checking your wireless adapter or your Ethernet controller or cable, whatever you're using. So like if you're like me and you're using Wi-Fi, I'd check the Wi-Fi adapter. It's like your user and password. So I don't believe we're done yet. Hold on, let me just do my 8-digit that I was doing earlier. The session should be Lubuntu. The keyboard layout is the US. Well, the time is correct on here now. we shouldn't be done with the setup yet. There should be more to it than that. Oh, that's actually, is that actually it? Looks like that's it. Guess that's how to install Lubuntu on an old computer like this. If you've been wanting to try to do this, there you go. I've basically gone over how to do it, and I've done it on my own computer to prove that I know how to do it. So, if you guys want to see more like this, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, comment below anything else you want me to do, and I'll see you in the next video. And by the way, no, I didn't break the computer.